Okay, so uh I promised us that we are going to be doing a practical example on support and resistance. So that is what we are going to be doing now. So this is trading view. I think I made mention of it that we are going to be using trading view to do our analysis. So this is what the trading view looks like, and on the left part of the screen we can see we have the tools which we can use to do anything we want to do. If we want to do triangles, if we want to draw circles, if we want to draw lines, everything is present on that left part. And then on the right part we can see that we have other things that can be done. For instance, uh, if you look at it very well, you are going to discover that there's every possibility that you have a watch list, and that is what you use that right side for. So going straight down to the support and resistance zones, what are we trying to do now? Uh we are trying to look for zones where we have support and resistances. So let's see. Okay, so here, if we look at it very well, let's see. Okay, so we are trying to look for zones or areas where the market has been rejecting, over time. So that is what we want to do now. And then we are going to see it, how that in those areas or in those places, in those zones, the market has been reacting, the market has been rejecting. If it was going up before, it will drop. It was coming down before, it will start going up. So that is the okay. If we look at this place, this particular zone, we discover that the market has been bouncing off. Let me remove this one. Okay, so we discover that the market has been bouncing off that particular zone. If we take a look at it very well, okay, let me use a line. Let's first identify the resistance point. Let me use a horizontal ray. Okay, so now we are going to see that okay, so I think, let me change the color from green. Let me change the color to black so that we'll see it very well. And then you can increase the thickness of the line depending on what you want. You can increase the thickness of the line. So if you take a look at this zone very well, what are we seeing? We are seeing that this market has been bouncing off. Let's increase the thickness. Okay, now we see that the market has been bouncing off this particular zone. I don't know, maybe we are seeing it. We can see that this line, okay, let me adjust it. So if we look at it very well, we'll discover that the market has been rejecting. So let's pick the first point now. So the market rejected here. That was the first point where the market touched that line. So we see that it came to this place again. It touched it here. There was serious reaction here. At the long run, the market later reversed. So if we look at this one also, the market also rejected at that point. And then if we look at this zone, the market also rejected. Are we seeing now? So if we look at it, okay, we have another point here. So if you take a look at these charts very well, you discover that on these areas or in these particular places, the market has been respecting that line. Now, what is this telling us? This is telling us that this is a strong resistance point. And there's every probability that if the market returns back to that line in the future, then the market is also going to respect it. I hope we understand now. So that is how we identify areas or zones of support and resistances. So the market will likely reject, or the market will has every likelihood of reversing in these zones. See the first one, the second touch, the third touch, the fourth touch. Now it's touching it almost the fifth time now. Are we seeing now? So that is a resistance, that is a resistance, that is a resistance, that is a resistance. And let's see if we are able to identify other areas. Let's see if we are able to identify. Let's look for a support zone now. A support zone, I think this one is a very very good one. So if we take a look at it very well, the market has been bouncing off that particular zone now. Market has been respecting that particular line. So the market has been respecting it. Now if we take a look at it very well, we have the first touch. Let me put a box. We have the first touch, we have the second touch. Are we there? Are we following? Then let's see the fourth touch, the third touch rather. Now the third touch, if you look at it very well, the market fought serious battle in this zone. And then although that particular zone still held, can we see how the market rallied to the top on getting to that place? So let me label it. So this is the resistance. This is a resistance. Let's adjust it. This is a resistance, the resistance point. Okay, that's the resistance point. The market got to the place and rejected. So why are support and resistance is so important? Because it's going to give us a clue of where to buy or sell. So this is support. Let me quickly label this support. So this is a strong support zone. Are we seeing it now? We are following. So that line is a support zone. And what does this mean? It means that there's every likelihood that if the market returns back to that line in the future, the market is going to respect the zone. So let's look for other areas. I think I'm seeing one here. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me use a rectangle now to show us. So now one thing about support and resistance is that they are not lines, oh, they are zones, they are areas where the market has every likelihood of rejecting. Why is it having likelihood of rejecting? Because what technical analysis does is that it tries to predict the future from the past occurrence. I don't know, maybe we understand now. So if the market is respecting a particular zone, or if the market has respected a particular zone before, what it means is that it is possible for the market to respect that zone again. So are we seeing the zones I'm drawing now? So the top one is the resistance, the one below is the support. Now if you look at it very well, we have several, I think on this support we have several touches. We have 1 2 3 4. Okay, let me use a circle to show us. Let me use a circle to show us. I think it's here. Okay, so that's it. Let me use a circle to show us. So this is where we have the first touch. I hope we are seeing it now. That's where we have the first touch. And then let me adjust this one. This one is big. Maybe we should just leave it and then we'll. So can I consider this place? I think the market traded to the downside. Okay, let me use this one. So this is the second. So this is the second touch. That's the second touch that we have. Are we following? Then we have a third touch. And then we have so let's see, I think we have a fourth touch here before the market finally broke through it. So are we seeing these zones now? How these zones are respected? Imagine that you had projected this support zone into the future before the market touched the third time. You would have been able to buy at that zone, because it's very very clear that the market has been rejecting and reversing off those zones. So it makes it easy to predict what is likely to happen. So what happens here now? We have 1 2 3 4. We have 4 different touches on this particular chart. So this is telling us that this particular zone is a very strong zone. Do we get the gist now? That particular zone is a very, very strong zone. In other words, there's every possibility that the market is going to respect the zone, that the market is going to respect the zone. That is a very, very good example of a support zone. That's a very, very good example of a support zone. And we can see that at some point, although at some point the market later broke through the zone, but then at least before the market was able to overcome that zone, although it fought several times, it fought almost 4 times, but then before the market was able to overcome the zone, we would have made our profit. So let me try cloning this. Let me clone this support so that I'll just label it for us. I'll label it so that we'll be able to see it. Let me label it. Okay, let me bring it down. Let me bring it down. So that is support. That is a very good example of support. And put it inside this inside this zone. So that's the support zone. Let me clone the resistance also so that we'll get it. I hope we are seeing what we are doing now. How we are seeing it. Okay, now. So let's see. Okay, let me pick the points also. So this is for the resistance. We have the first touch here. The market got to the place and rejected. Should we clone it, or we should just make that zone a single zone? If you can just okay, let's clone this. So this is another touch. Are we seeing now? Are we seeing what we are doing? So these are areas where the market had respected those zones. Areas where the market had respected those zones. Are we seeing it now? Areas where the market had respected those zones. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 different touches on that particular zone. Are we following now? So if we take a look at it very well, these are very, very clear and distinct areas where the market has been reversing, or where the market had been reversing. So what is that telling us? It means that if these zones are projected into the future, there's every probability that the zones are respected, again. So it's going to give us okay, I think I'm seeing another zone here. Can we see that there were several reactions in that particular zone? There were several reactions. Let me project this one into the future so that we'll see it very well. Several reactions in that particular zone. So we can see now. Can we see? And one thing about the market is that the market moves from zone to zone. In other words, it travels between areas that has been defined as support and resistance. I don't know, maybe we get it. If it is able to move, or if it's able to cross above a particular resistance, then what happens is that the market is going to proceed to the next resistance zone. So can we see now, this is another point at the topmost area of this chart. So we can see how that the market rejected off these areas. The market rejected. The chart was going up before, and at some point it started dropping. I hope we see it. Are we seeing what I'm saying now? Let me clone this so that we identify those points. So this is the first touch. Are we seeing it now? So this is the first touch. Let me expand this to accommodate the 2 touches. Okay. Okay, let me just clone this one, and then we'll move to the next touch. So if you look at it very well, let me clone this. So what is that we are seeing? We can see that what's wrong with this thing? I'm trying to clone this one so that I'll put it on the okay. So so if no, this one is not a zone. Let me just clone it again so that it will be much. Okay, so let's now move it. We have a touch here. Let me clone again. Okay, we have a touch there, and if you look at it very well, we have another touch. Are we seeing it now? We have another touch, and then this one did not get to the zone. This one is not getting to the zone. This one is not getting to the zone. So coming, and it's not getting to the zone. So let me keep this one aside. Let me delete it. So so we can see these areas. We can see how that the market respect this zone. So those are areas where we refer to as support and resistance zones. Zones where the market had respected, areas where the market is rejecting from. Are we seeing it now? Points or areas where the market has been or where the market has respected, where the market has a tendency of rejecting when it gets to the place in the future. Are we seeing it now? Clearly drawn out, clearly marked out. So what is the strategy for this support and resistance? The strategy is that when market approaches a resistance zone, we start looking for an opportunity to sell. Now I always say this, that until a zone is broken, it remains itself. Until a support zone is broken, it remains support. If market is approaching a support, don't try to think for the market. We don't think for the market. We don't try to predict the market. What we do is that we only react to what the market is doing. So if the market is approaching a resistance zone, don't assume that the zone is going to be broken. Don't predict that the zone is going to be broken. No, still assume or still feel that place is still going to hold. I don't know, maybe we understand now. That is one mindset we need to carry, because I've seen a lot of traders that when the market is approaching a resistance zone, they start buying, believing that zone is going to be taken out. And then when the market is approaching a support, they start selling, thinking that the market is going to break the zone. So until a zone is broken, until a zone is taken out, it remains strong. We will not assume that zone is going to be taken out. So I think I'm seeing another point. I'm seeing another zone in the middle of this range. Can we see how the market had been reacting off that zone? The market had been reacting off that zone. The market came down, it rejected to the top side, came down again. So it means that point, that third line that I've drawn at the center of these two lines, is also a point that we have to consider. In other words, when the market is coming to that area, then we should be thinking of either taking profits, keeping our stop losses there, buying or selling. So that will be all. Thank you very much. Please try to watch this video. It may be much, but let's just watch it.